The Barracuda 3, Chapter 1, written by Arlington Roth, copyright 2010, Arlington Roth. Arlington Roth is a pseudonym of Alexander T. Newport. Let us begin. Hunter S. Thompson has attached a typewriter to the steering wheel of an open-top, canary yellow, 1971 Plymouth Barracuda, and he is typing on it whilst driving at over 100 miles per hour along the scenic Honoapialani Highway on the island of Maui. He is steering the car with his knees. Riding shotgun and typing on a laptop is R.B. Collins. Seated in the middle of the back seat and also typing on a laptop is Charles BUKOWSKI. The Barracuda is a 440 six-pack. The V8 engine produces 385 units of horsepower and is helped to achieve this by a 6-barrel carburetor. The transmission is a 4-on-the-floor manual. Macho, shift-forward pullback, bull-shift crackerjack 64 that produces a force of gravity and torque within the vehicle so barbaric and tumultuous upon sudden acceleration that passengers are sometimes ejected violently through the windshield or straight up, like meat missiles into the sky. Thompson is wearing an off-white pith helmet, aviator sunglasses, a black t-shirt with DEA in large white letters, a shoulder holster packed with a gleaming silver .45 automatic, a red windbreaker, faded Levi's blue jeans, ripped at the knees, and red Converse trainers. He has a long black fancy-looking cigarette holder in his mouth. It is not holding a tobacco cigarette, it is holding a big spliff of high-quality Maui Wowie marijuana. R.B. Collins, besides being the only omnipotent person on this earth, is 6 feet, 10 inches tall, 345 pounds of muscle, and dressed as usual. Long blonde dreadlocks, full ginger beard, sunglasses that are neon purple with teeny tiny lenses that only cover his pupils. He is wearing a long black leather coat with many inside pockets, a white thin turtleneck, purple soft-brush Levi's bell-bottom jeans, and large black cowboy boots with 100% solid Mayan gold buckles. BUKOWSKI is wearing a white t-shirt with his picture on front, a dark green blazer, grey trousers, and black and white checkered Converse trainers. And yes, the car. This lovely, badass, motherfucking beautiful car. This 71 Barracuda. Everyone wants to touch the pretty canary yellow paint job. Everyone admires the cut and shape of the vehicle itself. People touch it without asking, and then people vanish mysteriously, and are later found in bits and pieces in Chinese food. It is true. But then, so what? People ain't no better than bugs or plants or mountains or streams. What matters most at this moment is that Hunter S. Thompson drives and delivers the 3 of them to the chemotherapy hut on Hemihang Avenue by 3 o'clock. The Barracuda 3, Chapter 2, written by Arlington Roth, copyright 2010, Arlington Roth. Let us begin. The Chemotherapy Hut is a chain store of chemotherapy centres where people with cancer receive chemicals into their bodies in an effort to attack and battle and kill their illness, rather than address the cause. Remember where we are. Canary yellow, 71 Barracuda, tear-arsing down the Honoapialani Highway in Maui on a sunny afternoon with Thompson typing at the wheel and steering with his knees. R.B. Collins riding shotgun, typing on a laptop, and BUKOWSKI in the back seat, also typing on a laptop. These dudes are having the time of their lives. They are doing what they please. They are following their bliss. They are loving every minute of it. They are loving life. Hunter S. Thompson carelessly speeds by a police car parked on the side of the highway. R.B. turns the volume knob up on the car stereo and the song Mob Rules by Black Sabbath blares out of the speakers. The 3 of them instantly nod their heads in heavy metal unison whilst typing away and being completely oblivious to the fact that a police car is now chasing them with its siren blaring and lights flashing. Let us look inside the pursuing police car. Behind the wheel is Officer Robert CRUMB. He is a tall, skinny nerd. He is sporting a Hitler mustache. He pulls alongside the Barracuda and honks his horn and waves at the occupants, but none of them notice him. He gets on the radio and says,
"Holy goddamn George, you are not gonna believe what I am seeing here."
10-4. This is dispatch. Is it another drunk driver?
Heck no! It is 3 hippie space freaks in a canary yellow, open-top muscle car. The one who is driving has a typewriter on the steering wheel, and he is typing. He is typing, George! Do you hear me? I'm going 117 miles per hour here, and so is he. And he's typing on top of the steering wheel. In fact, I think they're all typing. These bastards are typing novels or something.
Roger that. Aren't they taking any notice of you?
Not a blind bit of notice, George. I've got my lights flashing, siren going, I'm honking the horn, I'm waving at them. Oh, look at this.
Did they notice you?
No, but I just saw them passing a pipe around to each other. Those freaks are on drugs, George. Drugs. I knew it. Should I ram them off the road, George? Should I, huh? Should I? Tell me what to do.
We return to inside the Barracuda. RB takes a hit from the pipe and passes it to Bukowski in the back seat, and then notices the cop alongside their car. He nudges Thompson to become aware of it. Thompson looks at the cop and waves, and then yells over the music to RB.
Can't you just use your super willpower and wish him away? Make him disappear?
RB yells back,
Yes, I suppose so. But let us hear what he has to say. If it gets hairy, I will snap my fingers and stop the world. Go ahead and pull over.
Thompson pulls to the side of the road and stops. He turns off the engine but keeps the tunes on. The police car, a blue and white Mustang, pulls up behind and parks. Officer CRUMB gets out of the car and approaches the Barracuda with his hand on his holstered gun. All 3 occupants are busy typing and nodding their heads to the beat of the music as he cautiously walks up to Thompson's door. He yells,
Excuse me, but can you turn that down, please?
RB reaches over and turns it down. Officer CRUMB looks in horror at the 3 occupants. It is their faces, their hair, their clothing, and that typewriter on top of the steering wheel. Who are these guys? And where the hell did they come from? That is what he would like to know. He says to Thompson,
Sir, how can you honestly expect to operate this motor vehicle in a safe and legal manner with a flippin' typewriter on top of the steering wheel?
Hunter replies in a calm manner.
I am a writer. I write. This is a tool of my trade. No law against writing and driving at the same time, is there? You show me where it says it is, and I will eat this metal beast before your very eyes.
RB receives the pipe back from Bukowski and takes a hit from it and says with held breath,
It's true! I have seen him do it before, officer. He may look extremely mentally disturbed, but he is most definitely a man of his word.
Officer CRUMB shakes his head and says,
I don't understand what's going on here, but you are definitely using drugs. I can smell the marijuana.
He says to Thompson.
I need to see your license and registration.
Thompson lights the joint in his cigarette holder and takes a big hit and says,
You remind me of someone. Weren't you the Japanese guitar tech for Michael Schenker on his 1983 European tour?
Excuse me, but do I look Japanese?
Bukowski pipes up and says,
Schenker didn't have a Jap for a tech in '83, you fag. It was that white dude from rock radio KOME, 98.5 FM in San Jose. Dennis Erectus.
Shut up! This is all just obfuscating balderdash. Quit smoking that dope and throw it away from the car. Now! All of you, put your hands in the air!
Officer CRUMB clumsily pulls out his service revolver and points it nervously at each of them. No one obeys him, and he shrieks,
I have already radioed for backup and told them you were drug freaks. Are you so wasted that you forgot that the law requires you to immediately obey what a police officer instructs you to do? Have you, huh?
The 3 of them have resumed typing. Bukowski is typing with one hand. In his other hand is an open bottle of wine. RB is typing these very words before your very ears. He has a white rhino horn pipe full of killer marijuana between his teeth. Its bowl is a carving of Ted Nugent's face, and Ted Nugent looks maniacally happy, and Thompson is still sucking away on the spliff in his cigarette holder and is banging away on the typewriter. Another police car shows up. It nearly hits Officer CRUMB as it skids to a halt alongside the Barracuda. Officer CRUMB sways violently out of the way just in time without actually moving his feet. In a state of panic, he absent-mindedly points his service revolver at the police car, and then back at the Barracuda, and then back at the police car, and then back at the Barracuda. The police car contains 2 officers and is too close to the Barracuda for the passenger to open his door wide enough to get out, so he gets out through the driver's side. The 2 officers run to the front of the Barracuda with their service revolvers drawn, and then point them in a constant sweeping motion at RB, Thompson, and Bukowski. Officer Dennis Hopper looks wild-eyed and crazy, and yet exotically handsome in his black, crisp, clean-looking, well-fitting uniform. His partner of 27 years, Officer Elvis Presley, looks well-dressed and has prominent sideburns and a combed-back hairdo. He looks like some sort of frickin' movie star. They mumble to each other, and then Officer Hopper runs over towards RB, and making sure to keep his service revolver pointed at his head, opens his door and yells,
Get out of the car, you freak!
RB snaps his fingers and the world stops outside of the Barracuda. All 3 officers freeze in place. Passing traffic freezes in place. Flying birds and bugs freeze in place. RB tells Thompson to start the engine. He speaks over his shoulder to Bukowski and says,
Hank, do us a favor and find that 8-track by War!
Bukowski stops typing and rummages through the junk in the back seat of the Barracuda. He finds the tape and carelessly tosses it up front. It happens to whack Thompson on the side of his face, who then jumps up on the seat screaming and waving his pith helmet at imaginary creatures. RB laughs and grabs the tape and replaces the Sabbath tape in the tape player. Bukowski takes a hit from his bottle but begins laughing too and ends up in a fit of snorting and choking. RB is searching for a particular song and he asks Thompson,
Dude, why are you tripping out? Bukowski accidentally threw an 8-track at your mug. So what?
Thompson puts his pith helmet back on and relights his joint and asks Bukowski,
So, man, what gives? You trying to start some violent shit with me, Cro-Magnon man, eh?
Bukowski keeps typing and says casually,
You know I can put your lights out, you fag. I outweigh you by at least 150 pounds.
RB says to Thompson,
Hunter, sit down and start this car. We gotta make like a banana and split this fucking scene.
Thompson sits down and starts her up and puts her into gear for takeoff. He revs the engine hard and RB cranks up the tunes just as Low Rider begins to play. RB points forward and tells Thompson,
Hit it, motherfuck!
Thompson takes his foot off the brakes and burns rubber and then lurches forward and runs over Officer Elvis Presley. RB snaps his fingers and everything returns to motion. The Barracuda 3, Chapter 3, written by Arlington Roth, copyright 2010, Arlington Roth. Let us begin. Unbeknownst to RB, Thompson, and Bukowski, the Barracuda drags the bloodied carcass of Officer Elvis Presley for several miles until it disintegrates. Only his stains will be available for DNA tests to prove it was him. If you think about it, Elvis was quite silly for standing in front of a macho muscle car, driven by a complete fucking psychopath, with a typewriter on the steering wheel, you know. I mean, would you take the risk? Would you stand there with your firstborn baby in your arms? Would you want the daddy of your children to stand there? What an arrogant asshole! He was obviously supposed to die a horrible death. The Barracuda continues its journey down the Honua-Pialani Highway at around 115 miles per hour until RB tells Thompson to pull into the parking lot of an upcoming Togo's eatery. Once parked, an argument ensues as to who will go in and get the food. Thompson says,
Normally, I would not mind, but I have been hallucinating ever since Bukowski intentionally threw that 8-track tape at my face. I do not trust myself outside of the car. A wise man once said that. Never get out of the car. There are tigers and mangoes and all kinds of other shit you do not want to mess with. No, fuck that. Send Bukowski.
Bukowski lights a big cigar and says,
Hey, RB, why don't you stop treating us like niggers for a moment and go in yourself? I will have the ham on rye with onions and mustard.
RB asks,
What kind of cheese do you want with it?
and Bukowski exhales a cloud of smoke and says,
No cheese, please.
RB then asks Thompson,
And you? What you having?
Well, what do they have? Like sandwiches and shit?
Yes, submarines.
I will have pastrami if they got it.
Yes, they got pastrami. Best fucking pastrami in the world! I defy you to find better pastrami, even in New York City!
Righteous.
We can share their 8-footer! I will get it on triple extra sourdough with mustard and sauerkraut and Swiss cheese!
And with that, RB exits the Barracuda and enters the eatery to purchase the food. RB steps inside of Togo's and gets in line. The end of the line is near a wall. On the wall are framed photographs of various members of staff. RB peruses the faces and the captions beneath them. Most of the faces are female and brown. They are Filipina, Mexican, Vietnamese, Korean, and Polynesian. There is a white dude as a manager. Another white dude who happens to be Employee of the Month. His name is James Hetfield. He used to be a musician. Suddenly there is a commotion at the counter. It involves an irate customer named Axel Pose. He is the lead singer of Guns N' Poses. He is yelling at the little Vietnamese lady behind the counter. He says,
Fuck me in the face with a frying pan! Why can you not hurry up? You are making me late for a gig! Jesus fist fucking Christ! How long does it take to make 75 sandwiches? I was supposed to be on the stage 3.5 hours ago.
The Vietnamese lady is scared by his outburst. She tells him,
But you only just gave me your order 5 minutes ago, sir. 5 minutes, sir. I am making them as fast as I can, sir.
Axel starts waving his arms around and says,
Well, what about them other people? Your co-workers? Are they making them for me as well? Or are they making them for the other customers? Because if they are not making them for me, then you are definitely looking at a serious lawsuit. Because you are making me late for a show. You are interfering with my legal right to earn a living through performing music. I was supposed to be on stage with my band 17 hours ago, and this is not fair to them or the fans who are waiting for me. This is all your fault.
Ever the chivalrous one, RB steps out of line and walks up behind Axel Pose and grabs a fistful of his dreadlocks. And in one fell swoop, he yanks Axel away from the counter and throws him like a sports bag across the room and into the front door. Axel, laying on his side, lets out a groan and falls unconscious. Everyone in the eatery breaks out into cheers and applause. RB asks the crowd,
Would it be going too far if I went over there and urinated on him? It is something I enjoy doing to bad, inconsiderate men who think they own the world.
The crowd cheers in approval, and RB begins to unzip his fly as he walks over to Axel Pose. Meanwhile, in the 1971 Barracuda, Thompson is trying to engage Bukowski in a discussion about writing. Bukowski says,
Talking about writing is dull.
Yes. I appreciate that, but I guess it is more to do with ethics than the craft itself. I mean, where does any writer draw the line? You wrote that short story called The Fiend, about that dirty old man who rapes a 6-year-old girl, and it is still published to this day. And yet what separates it from child pornography?
Charles Bukowski takes a swig of wine and says,
Did it make you hard? Did it stimulate you to fantasize about raping little girls? That is the difference.
Well, actually, yes, it did.
Hey, what? It made your dick hard.
It was very well written, Hank. There's a build-up and a climax. The character works himself up to raping her, and he brings the reader along.
My intention was only to write a story about a pervert. I did not write it for the perverts.
Oh, really? Was that story originally published in a sex magazine? That is where I first saw it. It was the February 1970 issue of Adam. Or was it Reader's Digest?
Bukowski lights a cigarette and says,
What's with a 3rd degree, baby? I wrote a story that made you jack off. You probably wish you could do the same, but you can't. And I can live with that. Can you?
Absolutely. It is no contest. Oddly enough, any time I have attempted to write about sex, it always turns into rape and bestiality. And yes, Rolling Stone and Random House give me a fair bit of free rein, but, Stuff about Texan debutantes laughing while being fucked in the asses by Labrador retrievers crosses some sort of ambiguous line of bad taste, or so they tell me.
Bukowski stretches and yawns. He says,
You got any more grass, Thompson? Once I start on that shit, I have to keep going with it, or else I fall asleep.
Yes, I got grass, got speed. Would you rather have speed?
Is it the kind you have to snort up your nose?
You can if you want to, but they are black beauties, black capsules. Some people break them open and snort them.
Thompson fetches his black doctor's bag from near his left foot and has a look inside.
I got a coffee enema, this long tube thingy. Borrowed it from Steve McQueen, who said it gives you quite a jolt, especially if you do not let it cool down first.
I will just take the pill, Hunter.
It is actually a capsule. Is that all right? I know some people are phobic about that, especially if it is black. It has something to do about that Elliot Gould movie, MASH, and suicide and whatever.
Yes. Toss it back here.
Bukowski catches the capsule in his mouth. He washes it down with some wine. RB returns to the Barracuda, and without getting in, he hands Bukowski his ham on rye and passes the 8-foot pastrami Reuben to Thompson. RB then gets in the car and splits the Reuben with Thompson. But before either of them starts eating, RB tells Thompson,
You best get this beast in gear and haul ass out of here, because I just beat the hell out of someone in there. I may have even killed him.
Thompson fires up the Barracuda and drives it back onto the Honoapialani highway. Once he has it in 4th gear, he begins to eat his 4-foot submarine and steer with his knees. For a few minutes, the men lovingly enjoy their submarines in silence. The only sound is the roar of the 446 pack in 4th gear. Bukowski breaks the silence by asking RB,
Did you forget the napkins?
No! How many do you want?
Just a few.
RB fishes out a few from one of his jacket pockets and tosses them back to Bukowski and says,
There you go, faggot!
but the top is down, and thus the napkins get caught by the wind and blown away.
Ah, sir, I did not receive the napkins. Would you like to hand some to me instead?
There is an edge to your voice, Bukowski. It really comes across like you think you are better than me. I hope you do not provoke me to cover my boots with your brains, eh?
And judging by that atavistic skull of yours, Bukowski, I say you're probably guaranteed to have some truly preternatural hallucinations of primordial delirium for 18 to 36 hours.
Bukowski laughs and says,
Fuck you, you fag.
Thompson shrugs and says matter-of-factly,
Hey, it could be grist for the writer's mill. It has worked for me.
The Barracuda 3, Chapter 4, written by Arlington Roth, copyright 2010. Arlington Roth, let us begin. The sandwiches are gone. Bellies are full. The Barracuda 3 are enjoying their cigarettes as Thompson motors along at his usual 115 miles per hour. Bukowski says,
I'm starting to pep up. Find something snappy on the radio.
RB rummages around on the floor in front of his seat and finds an 8-track. He says,
I know just the track!
he finds Walk Away by Black Sabbath and lets her rip. Thompson shouts
Fuck yes!
and plays the bongos on his typewriter. Bukowski shouts
Well, all right. Fuck the world.
and dances heartily in the back seat. RB is headbang in the air and doing the Ronnie James Dio. Devil, hand wave. The Barracuda is rockin'!
Oh my God!
The song ends and Bukowski says,
Again. Maestro. Again.
RB hits the back button and the song begins again. He fishes out a portabong from the glove box and shows it to Thompson. Thompson reaches down into his black bag and comes up with a bag of Williams Wonder marijuana and hands it to RB. RB checks the pipe stem to make sure it is clear. He blows air through the bowl end of the stem and finds it is obstructed with wet, sticky resin. He takes a deep breath and blows really hard, and the resin glob flies out. It flies up over the windscreen level and catches the 115 mile per hour blowback and lands in Bukowski's left eye. Bukowski screams and attempts to wipe it out of his eye, but being that it is soft and gooey, he only manages to smear it all over his eyeball and eyelid. RB turns the tunes down and looks back at Bukowski, who is looking at him with one eye closed, covered in sticky pipe resin. Bukowski looks both fed up and expectant of instant relief via RB's omnipotent powers. RB taps Thompson and indicates with a sideways nod to look at Bukowski. Thompson looks in the rearview mirror and then looks back and cackles. He says,
You been finger painting with your poop again, Bukowski?
Bukowski says,
I got a big finger for you, mother!
All right then, here you go, dude.
and he snaps his fingers, and the pipe resin is gone from Bukowski's eye. Every trace of it, gone, as if it was never there. Bukowski blinks and gingerly touches the formerly blackish eye and looks at his fingers and visibly lets out a sigh of relief. Thompson and RB vibrationally feel the immensity of his relief, and they consciously appreciate it. RB rummages around the floor in front of him and pulls out an 8-track tape and ejects the one by Sabbath and puts in the Toadies Rubberneck. He finds track 3, Backslider, and he turns up the volume to 10. The song begins and Thompson says,
Ah, the great Todd Lewis.
Once the song kicks off, the Q.3 headbang the air in unison. What a truly beautiful sight. A canary yellow, 1971, Q.4 46-pack in mint condition, top down, racing along the Honoapialani Highway on the gorgeous island of Maui, the sun shining. Hunter S. Thompson in the driver's seat, headbang in the air, typewriter securely fastened to the steering wheel. Charles Bukowski in the back seat, headbang in the air, and in the front passenger seat, the gargantuan, infamous, omnipotent one. R.B. Collins, also headbang in the air. Dynamite! With a clear pipe stem back in its rightful place, R.B. packs the bowl, about 1/8 of an ounce, for the porta bong and fires it up. A lot of humans would not be able to light a cigarette in an open-top car going 115 miles per hour, much less light a bong. But for stoners, it is not the least bit problematic. You just do it. RB lights the bong load and takes a massive hit, and whilst holding it in, passes it over to Thompson. Thompson makes like he's about to light the bowl, but RB taps him and shakes his head no and says,
It's still glowing.
Thompson takes a hit and holds it in. He passes it behind him to Bukowski, who grabs it and takes a massive toke and then passes it to RB, who lets out his first hit and immediately takes another. Bukowski tries to hold his hit in, but erupts into coughing his fucking head off. Thompson laughs and ends up coughing too. The bong goes around 4 times and everyone is sufficiently loaded for the moment. The Q.3 light up cigarettes and begin typing. Bukowski says to RB,
Hey, you know I'm cool with the rock music and punk shit, but do you think you can find a classical music station on the radio?
Hell yay! I don't mind classical sometimes. Thank God you ain't asking for any of that fucking 1950s doo-wop shite.
and RB finds the tail end of some Mahler on a classical station at FM 90.7 KKUA. Bukowski says,
That'll do.
the Q.3 type for another 10 minutes until RB tells Thompson to slow down and make a right into the parking lot for the Chemo hut. The Barracuda 3, Chapter 5, written by Arlington Roth, a.k.a. Alexander T. Newport. Copyright 2010, Arlington Roth. Let us begin. Parked backwards against the front doors to the Chemo hut, RB stands on the front seat of the Cuda, holding a bullhorn in his right hand and the porta bong in his left. Thompson is standing guard outside of the driver's side, cigarette holder in his teeth, flamethrower in his hands. Bukowski is standing guard outside of the passenger door, chomping on a new Winston Churchill big-ass Cuban cigar and holding a flamethrower in his hands. It's a busy day at the Chemo hut. It's always a busy day. Hundreds of people coming and going throughout the day. And not just customers either. There's also the staff and the pharmaceutical delivery personnel and the tech dudes who calibrate the radiation machines. And there's also friends and family of the customers. RB takes a bong hit and scans the parking lot and decides he needs to rev himself up with a hit of music, only a bit. He doesn't need a whole song. He rummages on the floor of the Cuda and finds a bootleg 8-track tape of Pre-Perry Journey from 1973 and loads it into the player. He finds the track Charge of the Light Brigade and fast-forwards it to approximately 1 minute and 50 seconds. moments just before Neil Schon steps in with the sickest, wickedest, wildest kick-ass electric guitar soloing ever heard anywhere on planet Earth. He turns the volume up to the max and then stands up and takes another bong hit and scans the parking lot, looking at the mystified and concerned faces of those who want to go into the Chemo hut, but can't. RB can't resist listening to the whole rest of the song. He was only going to hear a minute or two, but Shon's playing is so beyond phenomenal, so beyond Hendrix, so beyond Vai and Satriani and Van Halen, that RB has to hear every last note. At the end of the song, RB bends down and turns off the stereo and tells BUKOWSKI and THOMPSON to fire up their flamethrowers but keep them on a low setting. He then stands up straight and puts the mega scream bullhorn to his mouth and tells the parking lot at 110 decibels.
The better you choose to feel here and now, the better everything works out for you. When you ignore this truth and choose thoughts or beliefs or actions that hurt you here and now, everything turns to shit for you. When you attack the cancer, you are attacking your body. When you do battle with cancer, you do battle with your body. When you attempt to kill the cancer, you are attempting to kill your body. The cancer is not a foreign substance. You are the cause, not cigarettes or red wine or plastic bottles. It is made by your body. It is a result of your worrying or stressing out more often than not. It is the result of the hateful, ugly arguments and other negative and pessimistic chatter in your head. From the moment you wake up until you go to bed, that shit causes stress. That shit causes fucked up energy. Y'all is literally fucking yourselves up by what you mostly think about throughout each and every day. Change what you think about and watch your lives change for the better. Instead of thinking about all the negative, pessimistic, bad news, self-loathing bullshit, why not think about things that make you feel happy and excited? All the worry in the world has never saved a child from being killed, and all the anger and grief in the world has never brought a loved one back from the grave. We live in a benevolent universe. If you think or act differently to that fact, you will experience results that seemingly contradict it. And that's down to you, motherfucker, and no one else. Benevolence allows. It does not resist. It allows bondage. It allows sheer agony. Each living thing on this planet is a perfect, eternal spirit in disguise. No one was compelled to be here. Everyone knows deep down inside that nothing real can ever be threatened or changed or controlled. And the only thing that is real is pure, positive, eternal consciousness. That's what we are. Each of us as unique individuals. We all know deep down inside that we are perfect, eternal, omnipotent, and omniscient thinker-feelers. And we are not these flesh and bone bodies. However, these bodies are psychological vibrations made physical. These bodies reflect our mental and emotional awareness of our eternal perfection and well-being. The less aware we are of our eternal perfection and well-being, the more fucked up our physical health appears to be. You cannot have mental and emotional conflict without it showing up in your body as pain or illness or disease. Some of you here today may, in spite of the chemo and radiation, rid yourselves of cancer, but you won't be addressing the cause of it, and so it will return sooner rather than later. It will show up somewhere completely different and unexpected, and you will believe you are a bad person who deserves to suffer.
A crowd of about 100 has gathered around, although they are standing nearly 75 feet away due to the absurdly loud bullhorn and the scary sight of flamethrowers held by BUKOWSKI and THOMPSON.
Why don't you shove that pure positive energy up your honky ass, yo, and leave us alone?
I will, motherfuck! I'd much rather shove that up my ass than them chemicals you're gonna be sucking up through your veins and attacking your metabolism with today. That shit will be making your hair and teeth fall out. Oh, goody! Let's make ourselves well by making ourselves feel worse. That makes perfect logical sense. Let's ruin our hair, teeth, skin, sleeping patterns, and our appetite, and then cross our fingers and hope to restore our well-being. Sounds real genius, don't it?
Are you even a qualified doctor or scientist?
I'm a fellow student on the path, motherfucker. I'm but a fellow player in the game. Perfectly equal and equally perfect to all others. I lived in the dark of my own free will. I explored depths of fear and ignorance so deep and so dark that I was convinced I would never find my way back to the light. In fact, I was convinced there was no light at all. But I'm here to tell you, the light and the way of joy can only be found by controlling what you think about. If you don't stop yourself from worrying, or feeling powerless, or feeling conspired against, then you will continue to experience aches, pains, illnesses, diseases, and more things in your life to worry and feel powerless about.
What's with the flamethrowers, eh?
As beneficial as these revelations are, they do tend to piss off some people who then behave violently towards yours truly. If anyone wants to start some shit, then you best be aware that my two friends here will burn down everyone and everything in this parking lot in less than 1.5 minutes flat. And I mean everyone, even those of you who are enjoying what you've been hearing.
How is that being loving and benevolent?
Hey, mother cunt! I ain't up here representing myself as some sort of guru or messiah. I'm just telling you like it is, baby. The physical is a manifestation of the mental and emotional. Deliberately make the mental and emotional happy in any way you can, and the physical will be happy. No more cancer, no more colds and flu, no more arthritis, no more migraines. And for fuck's sakes, avoid all diagnostic tests. They are 100% pseudoscientific.
Easier said than done, you assholic Neanderthal.
Yes, I agree. It is easier to talk about than actually put into practice, but it is still doable. You can put it into practice, and you will get the results you expect. You will reap what you sow, and you are not alone. Each living thing has a soul, guiding them to what they want. The soul never forgets you are a perfect piece of eternal conscious energy. The soul never hates you or disapproves of something you have thought, felt, or done. If you ever have a thought or piece of inner advice that makes you feel less well, or unsafe, or unloved, then it ain't coming from your soul. It's coming from your current perspective in a mass collective consciousness, full of infinite thoughts. Law of attraction matches you with thoughts that vibrationally match your current or predominant perspective. You are a vibrational being who controls your perspective and your ratio of resistance to allowance. No other entity or group of entities can interfere with your control. You control your vibration by how mentally resisting or allowing you are in this moment. Resistance is indicated by the presence of thoughts that do not uplift, or inspire, or excite, or soothe, or relieve, or appreciate, or celebrate, or otherwise make you feel a little bit better and move you up the emotional scale. Instead, they make you feel uptight and scared and nervous and anxious and bitter and confused and generally fucked up in the head.
How do you know all of this?
Everyone knows all of this deep down inside. Everyone knows that tears are liquid love drops from the soul. The soul is in the center. You are either thinking, daydreaming, chattering to yourself, or fantasizing about stuff that is aligned with your center, your soul, or you are not. If you are, you feel good, even great. If you're not, you feel out of alignment, out of whack, off center, and basically fucked up in more ways than one.
So what do you want from us? What do you expect us to do?
The crowd agrees loudly with cheers, jeers, whistles, and shouts of, "Yay!"
Do research on the benefits of positive thinking and broader perspectives, and the law of attraction and omnibenevolence, and focus control, and immediate attitude adjustments. Look into this idea of how deliberately choosing to feel good, regardless of what needs fixing, repaired, replaced, or improved, automatically makes everything work out easier and better for you on all levels of your life. Do the fucking experiment. Now, if you'll excuse us, we are going to burn this goddamn place to the ground at the end of this song.
RB sits down and cues up another Sean-dominated psychotic freak-out solo fest called Out of Control from the 1973 pre-Perry Journey bootleg Carlos Can Suck Our Fucking Smegma. He turns it up to 10 and the crowd immediately scatters in all directions. He then starts the car and moves it from blocking the doors to Chemo Hut. He moves it about 10 feet and waits. The doors swing open and loads of people come rushing out. BUKOWSKI and THOMPSON hold their positions until the song finishes, and then they rush inside Chemo Hut and set it alight. People on fire come running out, screaming in terrible agony. BUKOWSKI and THOMPSON come out less than a minute later and make sure to set the outside walls on fire before turning off the flamethrowers and putting them in the boot and getting into the back seat. RB stomps on the gas pedal and screeches out of the parking lot.
Your mother and me would like for you to cozy up to the Finkelstein boy.